What's one of the main issues on the minds of parents now? How to feed their children while they're on summer holiday? What kind of games they can play as a family? Nah, while those are important, I think right now a major concern for parents is getting all the necessary books for the upcoming school year. Don't fret, there's always a solution. Hi, I'm Adrian Atkinson and thanks for joining us on another informative episode of Jamaica Magazine. On the show today, solutions and advice to parents purchasing textbooks. Chief Education Officer Dr. Grace McLean is this week's guest on Issues and Answers. Plus, GSAT 2014 graduates. We have a few tips for you. Stay with us. We have those stories and much more inside the pages for you.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
Buying textbooks is a task parents tackle with smartness. Getting quotations from bookstores to decide which texts to first purchase or checking with a friend to get a used book. In an effort to reduce the burden faced by parents and to ensure there's fairness in the distribution of book lists, the Education Ministry revamped its textbook guidelines. To speak more on this and other matters relating to the textbook policy, the Ministry's Chief Education Officer Dr. Grace McLean sits down with Ian Boyne.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. You've heard the discussions about the approved book lists for schools. These book lists will be approved by the Ministry of Education, and all of us are concerned about the costs of school books. All of us want to ensure that the books that are prescribed are those that are really needed. Well, we have with us today the Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Grace McLean, and she'll be answering the questions that I'm sure you want answered. We thank you so much for your company. Dr. McLean, good to have you on the show. Where are we now with regard to this issue of the book lists? What are the guidelines? There are some new guidelines now to do with book lists. What are these guidelines and what is the rationale behind them?
Okay. The Ministry of Education currently spends over $900 million per year on textbooks that would have been reviewed and approved by the ministry, would have been aligned to our curriculum for use within the education system at the primary and secondary levels. With this huge expenditure, we have found that on a yearly basis, we still have parents spending sometimes up to $60,000 purchasing supplementary materials for their children. Okay. We have reviewed the situation island-wide, and we have found that in some cases, some of these books that parents are being asked to purchase are already on the approved textbook lists, and some of these books are not used by the teachers during the course of the year. And so it's almost a waste where some of these books are being purchased by parents. And so having done that survey, the Ministry of Education took the decision for this year to provide some guidelines for the purchase of supplementary materials for students. At the grades 1 to 3 level, our directive is that one supplementary book should be purchased at each grade, and this can be a reader, something that will assist the student in gaining additional information as they go through the integrated curriculum. At the grade 4 to 6 level, the recommendation here is that parents purchase the workbooks, the GSAT workbooks for 4 areas: language arts, mathematics, science, social studies. Now, this, of course, would be adequate with the books that the ministry will be providing at the primary level. At the grade 7 to 9 level, we ask parents to purchase the literature books because these are not provided by the ministry on the loan scheme. We have a clause here, though, which indicates that if there are students with specific learning needs where the schools need to look at additional material that will meet those needs, we ask to include these on the book list, but these have to be approved by our education officers. Now, with these guidelines, we have also we are indicating to parents that at the primary level, they should not be spending more than an average of $5,000, and at the grade 7 to 9 level, an average of $12,000. Just to say also, we have not placed any restrictions on the upper secondary grades 10 and 11 because students are encouraged to read widely. The books are usually aligned to the CSEC syllabi, and hence we ask for parents to just try to be very wise in the selection of texts that are needed at that level. But we do provide the core texts aligned to the syllabi from CXE for those students. So, Ian, we are trying to see if we can curtail cost to parents and also to prevent wastage in terms of purchasing books that are not being used by our students.
So it's 5,000 at the primary level?
5,000 at the primary level.
And 12,000 at the secondary level. And have you received reports that in some instances schools are still recommending books which might push the costs over those recommended levels, price levels?
Of the approximately 60% of book lists that we have approved so far, we have been doing our sampling, and we have not seen many. I can only think of about 3 cases that would have come to the central office. What I will say, however, our regional officers would have reviewed and would have asked schools to make adjustment to their book list when they are going through the sign-off process. But I have had a look at least 3 that came to the attention of the central office, and we have had discussion with the school administrators, and the adjustments were made. It must be noted that
how much over the recommended?
In one case, in the most blatant case that we saw, the total value of all the items on the book list was $36,000.
36.
Right. So that's
at the secondary level?
That's at the primary level.
Primary level?
Yes.
36 as opposed to 5?
Yes. I have found at the secondary level that there is compliance. The schools are complying, and we see some variations, but the variations are understandable because it is based on the needs of the students at the particular level. I want to say also, Ian, that there are some basic things that parents must buy which are really not considered to be texts. So, for example, the hymnals and Bible and geometry sets, pens, pencils, graph books and dictionary and atlases and so on. So those are separate general things. Right. But what we have been doing our survey, so we have been checking the cost of books, and by and large, the guidelines that we have suggested, once parents shop wisely, they should be able to meet their budget based on the guidelines that we have suggested.
Why you should be paying less for school books this year, the Chief Education Officer explains. We take a break, but we'll be right back.
No, son. A verb is an action word.
Parents need to become more involved in their children's education.
Parents are the first and in many cases the most important teachers.
Read with your children. Review their schoolwork. Visit their school.
Tapping and rapping and slapping, I said.
Nice! High five! Woo!
A good education will never decay.
We're discussing the cost of school books and why your pockets should feel a little ease this year with the ministry's new guidelines as to the number of school books required. The Chief Education Officer, Dr. Grace McLean, is with us. You had said that 60% of the approved list has been made. When do you expect to get the recommendations from all the schools and to approve 100%?
Yes, we are expecting that by the end of next week we would have completed
by the end of the month.
Yes, by the end of July. We are actually waiting on those schools at 40% to take their list.
So it's not the ministry's fault. It's not that you are dragging your feet. You are waiting for the schools.
Yes, it's not the ministry. We have sent out the directives and the guidelines from June, and we have had discussion with our school administrators. We are currently now having our back to school conferences, 3 so far, and we have been reminding them, and we expect that the few delinquents will be able to wrap that up for next week, because in August the team will be on the ground to monitor what is happening as it relates to our parents. We want to give our parents a fair opportunity to spend on what is necessary for their children's education.
Yeah. And the ministry is taking into consideration the devaluation of the Jamaican dollar, the fact that there has been exchange rate adjustment.
Yes.
And therefore your 5,000 and 12,000.
Yes, we did a survey in May of this year, and we came up with those ceiling of 5,000 and 12,000. We have gone back to the booksellers during the course of this week, and we have actually taken a few of the books and look at the prices and to, of course, do the addition. And we are seeing a few, perhaps plus or minus 5 to 10%, but it is not significant. What we do not want is to see a 50% or 100% over the guidelines. So we are confident that the guidelines that we have provided, that our parents will be able to, stay within those costs. They are reasonable. And again, we encourage our parents to shop wisely as well. Compare prices.
Let us look at the status quo. What used to obtain is that a number of booksellers would go to the schools.
Yes, yes.
So they have a vested interest in selling books.
Yes, yes.
And teachers would put these books on the list.
Yes.
Clever marketers, come in with all of these books.
Yes.
And parents would feel obliged to buy these books.
Yes, that's true, because in some cases, in previous years, we saw where principals were not even aware of some of the books that were on the list. So a book that the ministry is providing is on the list, and the parents are being asked to buy a book that we are providing for the students, especially at the secondary level. And so the ministry having to approve the list now, the principal has to sign off on that list before it is verified by and approved by the education officer.
So before this, the ministry didn't approve the list?
No, we allow for the schools to do their lists. They would have gotten the ministry's approved textbook list, so they would know what we are going to be providing, but we gave them complete autonomy to develop their supplementary lists and to administer it at the local level. It's actually the first year that we are approving the supplementary list.
Will the ministry ensure, Dr. McLean, that the books that you are to give to the schools reach the schools? Because you don't want a situation where the people can't buy books because you say you're going to provide books and your books don't come.
Yes, indeed. And we are happy to say, Ian, that we commenced the distribution of the primary textbooks from the end of June. And so we are far advanced, and this process is expected to be completed by the 3rd week in August. We are currently now distributing books at the secondary level. 2 suppliers have already started, and the other 2 we expect to start within the 1st week of August. And so by the 1st week in September, we should complete the delivery of books. But Ian, there are some situations that may appear as if we have not provided adequate books, and we are putting some precautions in place this year. The schools would have placed their orders for the number of books that they need from last year, October, especially at the secondary level, because remember, it's a loan scheme, and so we are not providing 100% of the books. We are topping up for those that would have gotten lost or for some reason were not returned by students. Now, what we are currently doing, now that the schools would have collected those books that they had on loan last year, our admin officers are now in the schools cross-checking the number of books that have been returned. So we can cross-check this with the books that were previously ordered to make sure that we have adequate number of books to be delivered to those schools. Now, there are cases where schools continue to register students sometime down to the end of August, and naturally the ministry would not have that information. And in a lot of cases that we have investigated previously, there were cases where the school's enrollment increased towards in August and September. And so we are appealing to our school administrators. Once you have increased your enrollment, it is your responsibility to inform us immediately through your regional offices so we can provide you with the number of books. We usually order a small set of additional books that we can provide, and if there are cases even after that, we have a very good relationship with our suppliers and we place the orders, and
so
these
the books can come in rapidly.
Right, the books come in rapidly for our schools. We do not anticipate though that we will have a shortage of books based on the fact that we are far advanced in terms of the delivery processes against previous years, and again we will be doing all the cross-checking
in comparison with previous
to previous years, and we'll be doing our cross-checking to ensure that our students have adequate books to begin the new school year.
And parents who get enormous booklets are encouraged to come into the ministry.
Yes, we are encouraging you to take the book list to our regional offices or our central offices. Let us look at those book lists and let us see if they meet the guidelines, and if they do not, we will get in touch with the board chair and the principal, and of course we will work through those situations with them in cases where we have seen that they have actually adjusted the list based on the ministry's guidelines.
So parents must be vigilant. And must stick
yes.
The average of 5,000
yes.
For the books at the primary level, 12,000.
At the 7 to 9 level, just note that at the 10 and 11, we have not placed any restriction on those for this year. We are doing our reviews over time, and then we can decide if it is necessary for us to place any restrictions.
And of course, you have the school libraries that you're encouraging people to use.
I want to encourage our schools to use our school, not only the school libraries, our parish libraries. Our parish libraries are putting in additional resources and text within the course of this year. They have started. They also have computers that our children can access information. There are some websites that we encourage our students to go on. The CXC Notes Master is a very, very good website for preparation for exam. eLearning Jamaica has a website with over 13 of our subjects with practice items and so on that they can go on. Go GSAT Jamaica offers a free basic level version at the primary level for our parents who can't afford to subscribe. And there are others also. We are also encouraging them to there is currently a little education broadcasting initiative within the Ministry of Education that we are developing content that we will be putting online and putting it on free to air so that they can watch accordingly, and so they have adequate information to assist in the preparation and the teaching learning process.
Thank you very much, Dr. Grace McLean, Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education. So you're expected to pay less for school books without compromising your children's education. This is the thrust of the Ministry of Education. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a pleasant day.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult,
but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop. Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think. Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act. Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review. Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
Not all GSAT students will be placed at a top school of their choice. The important mantra in life is to bloom wherever you're planted. Next, the Seaview Gardens Primary Family shares valuable advice on how to succeed at whichever school you'll be heading to in September.
Okay, my name is Elon Bennett. I attended Kingston Technical High School.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a past student of the Wolmer's Girls School, proudly. My name is Denise Reed.
My name is Keisha Nugent. I'm a past student of Wolmer's Girls School. Our motto, Age Quada Gaze. Whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability.
My name is Vicky Miller. I am a proud graduate of Tivoli Gardens Comprehensive High School.
My name is Keita Campbell, Tivoli Gardens High School. Motto, studies transform into character.
Good morning, students. Good morning, everyone. My name is Everton Pessoa, and I'm a graduate of the #1 school in Kingston, Jamaica, Norman Manley High School. Yes.
Boys and girls, I am not contending my school because I know you all know that Dintil Technical High School is the best high school in Jamaica. Okay? And I just want to tell you that you can strive for whatever you want to be.
It's not where you go, it's what you do.
Clap them, boys and girls. I'm gonna ask.
The teachers came up with this idea to have a uniform day so that the students who generally do the GSAT examination, so that they can feel proud of themselves. It doesn't matter what school they are placed. Sometimes when the result comes out, they feel as if they are worthless. You know, they didn't work real hard and they don't feel where they have been placed satisfying to them. Some will cry, some feel as if they won't reach anywhere. But we want to encourage them.
So we want them to understand that if they look around, they will see different teachers from different schools. Some teachers went to Denham Town, some went to Immaculate, some went to Wolmer's, but we're all here and we're all excellent teachers.
Most students want to transfer from the school they went to. Like, for example, if you go to a school like Denham Town or Tivoli, it doesn't matter, you have to just study hard and focus on your goals and achieve what you learned in class and just to be focused.
But I went to Denham Town and persons looked down on Denham Town. I am now a teacher at this school. When I just left Denham Town, I went to many places to ensure that I got all the subjects I needed. Now I hold a CPS, what is that? I'm a certified professional secretary. I moved from there. I now hold 2 diplomas in education. I'm a primary school teacher. I'm also a trained guidance counselor. I moved on from there. I went to UA, that's the University of the West Indies. I'm a holder of a bachelor's degree in psychology and political science. Sometime later, I moved on to do my master's degree at Florida International University. So I now hold a master's degree in curriculum and instruction. Students, how far you climb, how much you see, how far you reach depends on you. Let nothing stop you. You can conquer the world by doing what it is you need to do.
Now, whichever school grade 6 you are placed, you're going to go there and do your best. Your mind is a very strong tool. You might say to yourselves, I am dunce, but there's no such word as being dunce. You're going to tell yourself, I can make it. Visualize what you want to become. If you want to become a teacher, see yourself as a teacher. If you want to become a doctor, see yourself as a doctor.
Well, it's a constant work and a constant encouragement to the students because, you know, sometimes they feel as if they don't go to the traditional high school, you know, they feel inferior. But I'm here to tell them that you don't have to feel inferior because I went to Norman Manley. So it's not where you go, it's what you do where you are.
I think this was a very good idea because in doing this, it helps to motivate the children and help them to know that it doesn't matter the school that they attend. They can come up and achieve great things in life.
I feel great because it motivates the children to let them know that if it's not the school that you go, it's what you go there and do, and that if you pass for a non-traditional high school, you can still do the same as if you pass for a traditional high school.
I feel overwhelmed because the teacher showed us that even though if you pass for a traditional or non-traditional, only thing you have to do is go to your high school and make the best out of it because you can become what you want in life only if you put your brain to it and work hard.
I feel very happy and good that no matter which school you go, you can still go there and do your best and achieve your goals.
It's not where you go, it's what you do. Keep watching Jamaica Magazine.
Don't waste your time with thoughts of giving up. It's all in your mind. Let it go.
On Friday, the nation will commemorate Emancipation Day, a day to reflect on the hardships endured by slaves on the path to freedom. During your reflection this August morning, I want you to draw on the power of our ancestors. There is much talk now of the hardships of life, but do you truly believe that you, in a free world, are going through more than your foreparents suffered? Whipping, sexual abuse, and worse, work with no pay? Despite what you're experiencing at this moment in life, you can triumph. Be a persistent nanny of the maroons, a strident Sam Sharp. Take charge of your life, chart your course, and fulfill your purpose. Tell yourself, if my ancestors survived slavery and experienced emancipation, then I can defeat whatever challenge may come my way. Before we go, one more point on education. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. A lesson to the wise from human rights activist Malcolm X. This is where we close the pages on today's magazine, but the pages continue to turn on our social network sites. Click on jis.gov.jm for more information on the Education Ministry's approved book list, or follow us on Twitter at JIS News for more details and all the issues explored on today's show. We value your feedback, so drop us a line at JamaicaMagazine@jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.